Every week, 160 million Americans do the exact same thing. They walk outside, start a mower, and spend 45 minutes cutting their lawn. Then they rake up the clippings, stuff them into a plastic bag, drag the bag to the curb, and a truck hauls it to a landfill. Gone. Wasted. 8.5 million tons of grass clippings go into American landfills every single year. That is according to dumpsters.com using EPA waste data. 8.5 million tons. And here's what nobody tells you about those clippings. When grass decomposes in a landfill without oxygen, it produces methane. Methane is the exact same molecule that flows through the pipe into your kitchen stove. The exact same molecule that heats your water, fires your furnace, and generates electricity at power plants across the country. The chemical formula is CH4, 4 hydrogen atoms bonded to 1 carbon atom. It does not care whether it came from a well in Texas or a pile of rotting grass in your backyard. It burns the same, it produces the same heat, and it generates the same electricity. Your lawn is not waste. Your lawn is fuel. And there is a machine, a simple machine that you can build in your backyard for under $50 that converts that fuel into usable methane gas. Enough to cook every meal in your kitchen, enough to run a small generator, enough, if you scale it, to produce real measurable electricity from nothing but the stuff you were throwing away. It is called a biogas digester, and it was invented 167 years ago. In 1859, at a leper colony in Bombay, India, a British engineer built the first documented biogas digestion plant. The idea was simple. Human and animal waste was sealed inside an airtight container. Without oxygen, a specific type of bacteria called methanogens broke down the organic material and released methane gas. That gas was captured and used for lighting and heating inside the colony. The concept was not theoretical. It was not a lab experiment. It was a working operational power system running on biological waste in 1859. That is 17 years before Alexander Graham Bell made his first phone call. By 1895, the city of Exeter, England, took the idea and scaled it up. Engineers captured biogas from a municipal sewage treatment facility and piped it directly into the city's street lamps. An entire section of Exeter was lit at night by burning gas that came from human waste. Not coal gas, not whale oil, not kerosene, sewage gas. And it worked so well that the system ran continuously for years. But here is the part that should make you angry. The science behind this machine was understood before the invention of the telephone, before the light bulb, before the automobile, before the airplane. And yet, in 2026, 132 million American households pay an average of $75 a month for natural gas. That is nearly $1,000 a year pumped into a system that extracts methane from underground wells, processes it through billion-dollar refineries, pushes it through thousands of miles of pipeline, and delivers it to your stove, when the exact same molecule can be produced in your backyard from grass clippings and kitchen scraps. Let me explain how this works, because the science is elegant and it is not complicated. A biogas digester is an airtight container. That is it. A sealed drum, a tank, an IBC tote, anything that holds liquid and does not let air in. You fill it with organic material mixed with water. Grass clippings, vegetable scraps, fruit peels, leftover food, coffee grounds, animal manure if you have it. You add water until the mixture is about 90 to 98% liquid by weight. Then you seal it. Inside that sealed container, 4 biological processes happen in sequence. First, hydrolysis. Enzymes produced by bacteria break down complex organic molecules into simpler sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids. Second, acidogenesis. A different group of bacteria converts those simple molecules into volatile fatty acids, alcohols, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide. Third, acetogenesis. Yet another group of bacteria converts those fatty acids into acetic acid, more hydrogen, and more carbon dioxide. And fourth, methanogenesis. This is the magic step. A special class of ancient microorganisms called methanogens, some of the oldest life forms on Earth, convert the acetic acid and hydrogen into methane and carbon dioxide. That mixture of methane and CO2 is biogas, and it is flammable. It burns, it produces heat, and it can drive a generator to make electricity. The methane content of biogas typically ranges from 50 to 80%. Utility-grade natural gas is 70 to 90% methane. The difference is not enormous. And for cooking, heating water, or running a converted generator, biogas works without any additional processing beyond basic moisture removal. Now here's where the numbers get interesting. According to Mother Earth News, fresh grass clippings produce approximately 1.5 cubic feet of biogas per pound. 20 pounds of grass clippings generates about 30 cubic feet of biogas, which is enough for 1 hour of stovetop cooking. The average American lawn is about 8,000 square feet. According to EarthEasy, a 2,000 square foot lawn produces 600 to 800 pounds of clippings over a summer season. Scale that to 8,000 square feet, and you are looking at 2,400 to 3,200 pounds of clippings per year. At 1.5 cubic feet of biogas per pound, that is 3,600 to 4,800 cubic feet of biogas annually from your lawn alone. If you add kitchen food waste, which produces even more biogas per pound than grass, those numbers climb significantly. What can you do with that much gas? A family with modest cooking needs requires about 30 cubic feet of biogas per day for 1 hour of stovetop cooking. Your lawn clippings alone can provide that for 120 to 160 days per year. Add food scraps, and you approach year-round cooking fuel from waste. And if you want electricity instead of cooking gas, the math works too. 1 cubic meter of biogas, which is about 35 cubic feet, produces approximately 2 kilowatt hours of electricity when run through a small generator. That means your annual lawn clipping biogas production could generate roughly 200 to 275 kilowatt hours of electricity per year. That is not going to run your whole house, but it is real, measurable power produced from something you are literally throwing in the trash. And this scales. If you add food waste from a family of 4, which averages about 2 to 5 pounds per day, you can roughly double your biogas output. If you have a couple of chickens or a goat, manure becomes an additional high-yield feedstock. A single cow produces about 140 pounds of manure per day, which generates 85 cubic feet of biogas. That is 3 hours of cooking fuel from one animal every single day. In India, this is not a novelty. It is national infrastructure. The Indian government has installed over 5 million household biogas plants across rural villages through its National Biogas and Manure Management Program. 5 million families cooking on gas produced from cow dung. Not propane, not natural gas from a pipeline, biogas from a digester in their backyard. China has built over 27 million household biogas plants. This is not fringe technology. This is proven, deployed, functioning infrastructure used by tens of millions of families across the developing world. So why do you not have one? Let me follow the money. The United States residential natural gas market generates tens of billions of dollars in revenue annually. Utility companies charge you $75 a month on average. Pipeline operators charge transmission fees. Drilling companies sell extraction rights. Refineries sell processing services. Distributors sell delivery. And at every single step, someone takes a cut. A biogas digester in your backyard produces the exact same molecule for free. There's no meter to read. There's no bill to send. There's no monthly payment. There is no shareholder to enrich. It is a barrel, some plumbing, and bacteria doing what bacteria have been doing for 3.5 billion years. The commercial biogas industry knows this technology works. Home Biogas, an Israeli company, sells a prefabricated backyard biogas system for about $700 to $1,800 depending on the model. Their Home Biogas 2.0 produces up to 3 hours of cooking gas per day from kitchen scraps. That unit was crowdfunded and has been reviewed independently by researchers in Australia who confirmed it produces more gas than a household needs for cooking when fed 2 kilograms of food waste daily. 3 hours of free cooking gas every day from scraps you would have thrown away. The payback period at $75 a month in natural gas savings is roughly 1 to 2 years for the commercial unit. After that, your fuel is free for the life of the system. But you do not need to spend $700. You can build a functioning biogas digester from a single 55-gallon drum for under $50. The Complete Biogas Handbook published free plans online at completebiogas.com. Mother Earth News has published detailed DIY instructions. Penn State Extension has a complete guide on anaerobic digestion. The materials are simple. A 55-gallon steel or plastic drum, PVC pipe for inlet, outlet, and gas collection, a few valves and connectors, silicone sealant, a gas storage bag, or an inverted barrel in water to collect the gas. Basic tools. That is it. Total materials cost is $40 to $60 depending on what you already have. You fill the drum with a slurry of organic material and water. You seal it. You maintain the temperature between 90 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly body temperature. In warm climates, the sun does this for free. In cold climates, you wrap the digester with insulation and black plastic, or place it inside a small greenhouse structure. Within about a week, gas production begins. You pipe the gas into a storage container, you connect the storage container to a burner, a stove, or a small generator, and you have free fuel from waste. Now let me be honest about the limitations because I'm not going to pretend this is a miracle. First, biogas production is temperature dependent. Below 59 degrees Fahrenheit, gas production becomes uneconomical. In cold climates, you need supplemental heating, which eats into your energy savings. This technology works best in warm and temperate regions. If you live in Minnesota, winter biogas production without a heated greenhouse is essentially zero. Second, you need a consistent supply of feedstock. A 55-gallon digester handles about 3 gallons of waste per week. If you do not have enough organic waste, gas production drops. Grass clippings are seasonal in most of the country. Food waste is year-round but limited in volume for a small family. The system works best when you combine multiple waste streams. Third, biogas contains hydrogen sulfide, which is corrosive and toxic in high concentrations. You need a simple scrubber, which can be as basic as steel wool in a container, to remove H2S before burning the gas. This is not expensive or complicated, but you cannot skip it. Fourth, safety. Methane is flammable. A biogas digester can explode if pressure builds up without a relief valve, or if a flame reaches the storage container. You must build the system outdoors, away from structures, with proper venting and flame arresters. This is real gas. Treat it with the same respect you would treat a propane tank. Fifth, the gas output from a small DIY digester is modest. You're not going to power your entire house on a 55-gallon drum of rotting grass. For meaningful electricity production, you need a larger system, more feedstock, and a generator converted to run on methane. Scaling up means more space, more complexity, and more investment. Those are real limitations. But they do not change the core truth. The average American family throws away enough organic material every year to produce hundreds of cubic feet of methane. That methane has real energy value. And instead of capturing it, we seal it in plastic bags, truck it to a landfill, and let it escape into the atmosphere where it traps 80 times more heat than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period, according to the EPA. We are literally throwing free fuel into a hole in the ground and then paying a utility company for the exact same molecule pumped from a different hole in the ground. Now let me tell you the part that really makes this story sting. In 1796, Alessandro Volta was on a boat on Lake Maggiore in Italy. He noticed bubbles rising from the muddy shallows near the reeds. He collected the gas. He tested it. He discovered it was flammable. He had just discovered methane. This was 250 years ago. The man whose name we use for the unit of electrical potential, the volt, literally discovered the gas that could have decentralized energy production for every household on the planet. And instead, we named a unit of measurement after him, built a trillion-dollar fossil fuel industry around the molecule he found, and told everyone that the only way to get it was to drill a mile underground and pump it through a continental pipeline network. Volta found methane in a swamp. A swamp is just a natural biogas digester. Organic material decomposes underwater without oxygen. Methanogens produce methane. It bubbles up. Nature has been running this reactor for billions of years. Every swamp, every marsh, every lake bottom, every compost pile, every cow's stomach is a biogas plant. The Earth produces an estimated 580 million tons of methane naturally every year. We are surrounded by this fuel. We are swimming in it, and we pay someone else to sell it back to us. India understood this. 5 million biogas plants. China understood this. 27 million. Germany understood this. Over 10,000 commercial biogas plants feeding electricity into the national grid, generating over 33 billion kilowatt hours per year. Germany gets 5% of its total electricity from biogas, not wind, not solar, rotting plants and manure. In Rwanda, prisons installed biogas digesters that process human waste from inmates and generate enough cooking gas to feed the entire prison population. The system reduced the prison's firewood consumption by 85%. In Kenya, schools have installed biogas systems that run on cafeteria waste and provide cooking fuel for hundreds of students. In Nepal, over 300,000 household biogas plants have been installed through government subsidies, transforming rural energy access. All of this from the same science that was demonstrated in Bombay in 1859, 167 years ago. And the average American has never heard the word biogas. Here is what you can build this month. Get a 55-gallon drum, drill 3 holes, one near the top for the gas outlet pipe, one near the top on the opposite side for the feeding inlet, one near the bottom for the effluent drain. Fit PVC pipes into each hole and seal them airtight with silicone. Connect the gas outlet to a length of tubing that leads to your storage container, which can be as simple as an inner tube from a truck tire or an inverted bucket in a tub of water. Fill the drum about 3/4 full with a slurry of grass clippings, food scraps, and water. If this is your first batch, add a bucket of fresh cow or horse manure as a starter culture to introduce the methanogen bacteria. If you do not have access to manure, you can buy methanogen inoculant online. Seal the drum, place it in direct sunlight or in a small greenhouse frame. Wait 7 to 10 days. When you see your storage container begin to expand, you are producing gas. Test it by connecting a burner to the gas line and lighting it. If you see a blue flame, you have biogas. Congratulations. You just turned lawn clippings into fuel. Feed the digester regularly. 3 to 5 gallons of mixed organic waste per week for a 55-gallon system. Keep the temperature above 70 degrees. Add water if the mixture gets too thick. Drain effluent periodically and use it as liquid fertilizer on your garden. It is rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, essentially free organic fertilizer as a byproduct of your free fuel production. If you want to generate electricity, connect the gas line to a small natural gas or propane generator. Most propane generators can run on biogas with minor modifications. A 1 kilowatt generator uses about 18 cubic feet of biogas per hour. If your system produces 30 to 50 cubic feet per day, you can run a 1 kilowatt generator for 1.5 to 3 hours daily. That is enough to charge batteries, run LED lights, power a radio, or keep a small refrigerator alive during a grid outage. 40 million acres of lawn in America. 8.5 million tons of clippings sent to landfills. $75 a month in natural gas bills. 5 million biogas plants in India. 27 million in China. 0 in the average American backyard. The science is 167 years old. The molecule is identical. The bacteria work for free. And the fuel is growing in your yard right now, waiting to be cut, collected, and converted into energy that nobody can bill you for. Your lawn is not a chore. It is a power plant. And every time you bag those clippings and throw them away, you're throwing away free fuel and paying a corporation to sell you the same molecule from a hole in the ground. Stop mowing and tossing. Start mowing and producing.